Okay.
Well, here we go.
Here we go. Welcome to another episode of Straight From My Broken Hip.
On a beautiful day in beautiful river.
Wolf Flow again, yeah. You guys know, we went through Wolf Flow. Yeah, we're on Tommy's deck, beautiful day. And we thought we'd try it outside. We don't get many of these.
We got some lawn, a lawn being cut for probably the third time in a row this week. And
yeah.
I think it's a root canal or something being done across the street because it's a high-pitched noise. I don't know what he could possibly be doing all day. But anyways, here we are.
Here we are. I'd like to start out with a heartfelt retraction to my buddy Jimmy Aarons. He called us on our last video. He said Joe Pero was a better producer in the playoffs than he was during the regular season. And we looked that up, and he was right. Joe averaged 1.11 points per game in the regular season and 1.14 in the playoffs. So we do officially retract that, Jimmy.
We also checked out because we kind of got the idea, it might have been in the Quebec series, you know, because Q and E together is Quebec.
Quebec.
And he actually had a very good series against Quebec. Joe Perreault was is my all-time favorite Sabre.
Yeah.
It's just back in our recollection of those days when we had some playoff failures, it seemed like he, for some reason, we kind of probably blamed him, and we were wrong. And when the M&M's wrong, we say we're wrong.
I tell you. I found it kind of funny that, of course, switching sports, Jimmy Aarons, who, much to his father's and my dismay, grew up a Miami Dolphins fan in Buffalo, New York, actually Lancaster, that he actually called me out. But, you know, I get it, okay? He has come around. He doesn't like the Dolphins anymore, and he's always been a Sabres fan. So, Jimmy, that's to you.
Thumbs up, buddy.
We love you, buddy.
If we had a T-shirt or some kind of thing from the show, we'd send it to you. Yeah. And if we do create one, you'll be the first one to get one.
Yeah, and we don't have. It's a very low budget show, as you can
It's
probably
pretty
tell.
low budget. I think I got a bee in my hair. Anyways.
So we're going to tell a couple stories today. What do you want to start with a little bit on Skinner?
Yeah, I just want to say Skinner recently signed this past weekend, and I'm glad the Sabres got that done. Yes, it's always scary when you get the free agents and stuff, as comes to mind of Oposo and Molson. But that can't stop you from doing it. You still have to do it, and this guy can score some goals. He's thrilled to be here. Overpay, 8 for 8 would have been a good figure. I'm not involved in all that stuff. Obviously, Wayne, you're not either,
No.
and we'll live with that. And the cap always goes up, so I'm glad we got that done, and I'm looking forward to the Sabres season.
Yeah, just a quick thought on that is you heard here on our show that I was saying 7.5 to 8 is fair, and I still believe that. But what happens is in free agency or when he's going to walk, you're going to overpay, and it happens every year. And really, what's the difference of $1 million each year when a cap is, you know, 82, 83, 90 million dollars? It's just you got to roll the dice.
More importantly, with this, and we'll get into this later on too, but the CBA and hockey's kind of messed up. This money's all guaranteed, so we'll just use Skinner for example. The goal is give him $72 million. What stops him from sitting on Allen Street for the next 8 years?
Yeah.
You know, and the clause that gets me more than anything is the guaranteed, but the no movement, no trade clauses. Yeah. So it's almost like, where's the owner's side of this?
There is no owner's side of it, but they unfortunately signed that CBA, and I think they got to relook it all. But we've talked about that too.
But I'm not blaming Jeff Skinner. That was just an example. I think Jeff's a skater, and I think we'll be all right with him. But hey, I like Oposo.
Yeah, we did like Oposo, and that was ugly. So we're going to get into a few kind of funny stories today.
Real quick, next week will be our draft preview and what we think the Sabres should do and look for. And but today we thought we've been getting some feedback on some of the funny stories and stuff, and that's what we thought we'd do.
Yeah, that's right. All of them happen to involve my brother Mike. Now, my brother Mike is a few years older than me, and he was a Marine in Vietnam. And Mike grew up differently than I did, mostly because he was a Marine in Vietnam, and you know, he was one of those guys you didn't mess with. And meanwhile, you know, I grew up in Cheektowaga, like playing with GI Joes.
Well, I also think Mike too, where he grew up, made him tougher too. Nam didn't help for sure, but Mike definitely wasn't. There was no negotiations with Mike. Wayne and I, if something went wrong, there was going to be a negotiation, or I like to call wolf tickets.
Wolf tickets.
And then when there was a time to throw down in the early days, it was is there a best of 3 here? Marcus of Queensberry rules. But Mike never believed in any of that, and Mike was like shock and awe. Get in, attack, cut out life, cut out communication, air, everything.
So first story we'll tell you was this is a great story. So it was the opener, I believe it was 71. Bills and Dallas. And Dallas was really good. Bills weren't that great. Dennis Shaw was coming into his second year.
See, when we had the uneven line, remember Remy Prud'homme?
Yeah.
Just thought I'd throw that in there.
Yeah, thanks for that.
I can't keep track of Gilles' scoring, but I know Remy Prud'homme played an unbalanced line.
Thank you for that. So we're playing Dallas. They got Bob the Bullet Hayes. They're really good. And,
fastest man at one time.
Fastest man was the Olympic sprinter. And long story short, the game ends. It's at the Rockpile. And my brother thinks, I'm going to get my brother a souvenir. I was 12 or 13 at the time. And I was 12 or 13 at the time. And my brother wanted to give me a souvenir. So if you remember, for those of you old enough, there was snow fences. I mean, these players walked off just behind snow fences. It was really, they were very accessible. So my brother reaches over, and the Hall of Famer Bob Lilly, who I think he ate nails for lunch and breakfast, but he was one of the toughest guys of all time. And Mike went and tried to pull his chin strap off as a souvenir for me, and didn't come off. And Bob Lilly just wanted to kill my brother. I think he thought it was like a physical assault. And so my brother is being held back by security guards, and he's yelling, "Don't hold me back. I want to get out of here." Bob Lilly was a monster.
Well, Lily's head jerking back and forth, I would take that it wasn't a friendly greeting.
Well, I don't think it jerked back and forth too much, just once. But anyway, so O.J. Simpson, about 4 back, this was before he sliced up people.
Quite a few years before that.
Yeah, when he was my hero. O.J. saw all this happening. And by the time, when he walked up and is next to my brother and I, he snapped off his chin strap and gave it to me. And it was the days of the cotton cloth chin straps. They weren't these big plastic ones. And I still have it. I took it to camp at Niagara University the next year, and O.J. signed it for me, and I still have it, even though he's a murderer and rapist.
Well, he was found innocent.
Yeah, okay.
And he is, when he is allowed to leave Nevada, will be continuing his search for the killers.
Okay. So Tom's got one. I think it was the opening year of Rich Stadium, so 73.
Yeah, it was. We were, sophomores maybe in school, juniors.
Sophomores, I believe.
4 of us went, and the other 2 gentlemen with us were also of our belief of negotiating and turn the other cheek. And we were at the game, and we had brought some popcorn and stuff for the game, and guys behind us were reaching over and taking our popcorn. Now, in those days, you could kick our dogs, mock out our families, but don't mess with our food. So Joe, our friend Joe, was on the end of the row, and we had told him that Mike, Wayne's brother, was up in the upper deck in a certain section, and go get him. So it took Joe a while to get up there, and when Mike came back at the half, he said to us, "Where's this guy sitting?" And we said, "They're there." And the whole row behind us was empty, and the row behind that. And Mike said, "Which seat?" "They're all empty." "They were sitting in all of those seats." And Mike said, "Maybe you guys ought to just buy some popcorn." But he did sit there, and did tell us that maybe the next time, we don't need 2 rows of...
We don't need Mike to fight 2 rows of fans that are harassing us. The funny thing is Mike probably would have.
He would have, and we would have done our best to negotiate and find a way out. We changed our ways as years gone by, but in those days we were very
a lot of
passive, a lot of grasshopper, wax on, wax off, that kind of stuff. But and one last funny story I like to share was, sorry Jim, but we were playing Miami in the 80s, and we're pulling in.
Sorry, Jim.
And there's some Miami fans right along the rail areas. We're pulling off Southwestern. And
we always parked at pole 5.
Pole 5.
So we went in off Southwestern and did the curve back to the left.
The guy's got his Miami jersey on. They got all their Miami stuff. They're proud, and they got a sign. He's got "Squish This." Well, it just enraged Mike. So when we finally parked, he got out of the car, and we're setting up, and he's going. It was stones in those days. He's running through the stones, and we got to find him. We got to go with him. So we ran over there, and he's got the guy airborne that has the sign by his
groin.
His family jewels.
Okay, the jewels.
The guy's basically turning colors, and Mike's saying, what's next? Was there instructions on the back of the sign? And his two buddies are taking their Miami stuff down and saying, I knew he shouldn't have done it. I knew he shouldn't have done it. And this guy's like, so.
Squish this.
And he did.
And he squished it.
He squished it.
I love the line, though. Okay, I got it now. Any more further instructions on
Flip
the back?
the sign over. There are more instructions. So there was a couple of stories I hope you enjoy. And there's more that we'll bring out during the course of our Straight from the Hips. But we've, let's just say it was always exciting going to a game with us.
Yeah, always exciting.
You know?
Yeah,
there was one I will throw in about you, though, that it's one of my favorites.
Oh, no, not
Guy
that.
about 6 rows up, down from us in the section. We were losing. Wayne wasn't very happy, and he yelled. He turned around and said, "You're wrecking my experience." And Wayne got out of the row. We were about 8 or 9 seats in.
Yeah.
He got out like a ballerina. Didn't touch a soul. Got down, and he's choking this man.
Well, let me just throw back a little bit. It wasn't just because he said, you're ruining my experience. He was in a full Jets gear. He had a Jets jersey on with, get this, at a Bills game, football pants and football socks. You got to be the biggest dork that ever lived. So anyway, he's doing his Jets thing the whole game. So I finally yelled to him to sit the something down. And then he came back with, I'm ruining his experience.
And Wayne proceeded to strangle him. You know, thumbs on the Adam's apple, the whole bit. We actually got Wayne off the man, and it didn't go well for you at home with
no, my wife,
your significant other. And anyways,
I wasn't arrested though.
No,
never arrested.
You did.
Never convicted.
Let go, and the air did come back. His lungs filled. We made sure his lungs filled.
His lungs filled.
And I remember helping his little pants up, and they were stained. But he came back the next week. He was a season ticket holder. Probably like Jim, growing up, always loving New York instead of Miami. And Wayne went down. I got to apologize to the guy. And Wayne went down. Guy had a Philadelphia collar on, one of those white collars, and he's shaking. Stay away from me. And his wife said, haven't you done enough to us? So that was just always, you know.
That was just everybody. Don't think I'm too crazy. Yeah, that wasn't not one of my better
There's no
days.
reason for hands on.
Yeah.
We were wrong with that. Like we said earlier in the show, when we're wrong, we say we're wrong.
I was wrong, and I'm much better now. But yeah, much better now. I was, I don't know, 29, 30 years old, and yeah, I had a lot of...
The Philly collar was a thing of beauty.
That was. A lot of piss and vinegar in those days. Especially when you were an anti-Bills. I just didn't take it in my stadium. In fact, people used to say, you know, that I thought it was my stadium. But you know what? A big Bills fan, I don't want to see a guy doing a Jets dance every 3 minutes in my stadium.
I think it was our buddy Pete that also said to the lady, he's done enough damage. Wasn't the full football gear enough to embarrass you? and then watching him shit his pants while he was being choked. But anyways.
Anyway, yeah. So that was it. We just had a couple of football stories for you there. As I said, I've calmed down over the years. Luckily, never arrested, never convicted. So we got pretty lucky there.
And I hope, like we said, next week's show we'll dedicate to the NHL draft.
Yep.
And what we think the Sabres might be due, because right after that is the free agent period. Because right now they can't talk.
Yeah,
they're forbidden.
Yeah, oh no, they're not talking.
Boston plays tonight against St. Louis. St. Louis blew their chance. I got a bad vibe that Boston's going to have another parade.
Me too. Gag City the other night in St. Louis.
Big Poppy, not a big fan of the Red Sox, but Big Poppy was shot.
Yeah, well, you know what? People got to stop going there. People are dropping like flies in that jungle hellhole. So just stay in the United States.
There's a lot of beautiful, I mean, he lives there, but there's a lot of beautiful places to visit here.
Yeah.
But one thing I did like about the people in that nightclub, they were able to get one of the two that were involved in this shooting, and they did some really good physical damage, and that needs to be done here.
That needs to be done.
You know, if possible. Not, you can't, if you're unarmed, you're unarmed, but if there's any way at all, save the court, save everybody the trouble, and do the damage.
Just do the, he kicked the living Christ out of the guy, and I loved it. But I mean, here's a guy down there in his hometown. He goes down there. He's retired.
He's done a ton of charity for his people.
Nice guy. And somebody comes up and shoots him twice in the back. Are you kidding me?
It really is.
This world is messed up. But for all you out there, you know what? Don't go to Mexico. Don't go to the Dominican. Don't go to these Jamaica and these dumps. Just stay in the United States of America.
A lot of beautiful places here in the US of A.
And by the way, when you're in the US of A, you know the police got your back if you're in the right. Down there, it doesn't matter what, if right or wrong, you are a foreigner and they don't care.
Although Cabo, I would like to kind of see.
Well,
the Red Rocker.
Yeah, you want to see the Red Rocker, who's now the Gray Rocker. But anyway, still
red and gray.
Still time. You'd go down to Cabo, again, like you said last week, you put a couple ice cubes in your rum and coke.
That is a problem.
And you got dysentery. And it's just ridiculous.
And I don't want that again. No. I'll tell you that, because that was...
Is that again? You've had it?
Well, there's been some
real bad times.
Well, John, we did remember the old pancake days?
Uncle John's.
Uncle John's pancakes.
Yeah, Uncle John's, basically, you had to time it. It was on Union Road before school. We'd go, we'd get all the pancakes you could eat. And you had about 5 to 7 minutes after the last cake. And it's coming out.
The timer really kicked into gear. The last minute warning, whatever you want to call it, was the gurgle.
Yeah.
The first gurgle, and you got to get...
I pulled in. We were going before school.
We were late
Tom
for school.
He ran into his house. I went back to mine, ran into my house. We re-upped and went to school. We were a little late, but...
and that was without getting on the cooks or anything there.
No.
Could you only imagine?
Oh, imagine. No, we didn't say a word, but no, we had to stop going because you had that 5 to 7 minute out. And you couldn't go to the bathroom there because, my God, I don't know what it is about men's rooms in public places, but you go in and there's like feces smeared on the sidewalls. Who's doing that?
Is it a game or something?
Who is doing that?
Sometimes you go in, even like nowadays, you go into the Ralph or New Era.
Yeah.
And there's dents in the stalls. Is there problems in these stalls? Yeah. Are people locked in?
Just go to the bathroom.
It's almost to the point, and Ellen DeGeneres used to say, when you got the bars on each side, it's almost like you got to be a gymnast to hover over these toilets. But really, is there fighting? Is there a hard time getting out of them? They're dented.
They're dented.
And then up the wall. What? I mean, even Uncle John's on a bad morning, it never went up a wall.
No. Once you sit down on a toilet, it's not going up a wall.
Is somebody finger painting with this stuff? What happens in these Johns?
I don't know, which is why I tell my wife all the time, I'm not going into a public men's room.
There's diseases, and I mean, we talked about our vaccines, but there's diseases in some of these bathrooms that
haven't been discovered.
Center for Disease and Control. No, where did you get this?
They haven't been discovered yet.
Uncle John's on Union? What?
They could be bionuclear. You know, I mean, this stuff's
I don't know what happens in some of these.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. But anyway, that's what we're going to sign off with. Again, next Wednesday will be our draft show. I'll post this tonight, and we hope you enjoyed it. And if not, well... Keep calling us out if you want. Send us some comments. We got a question. My brother-in-law, Mark, really wanted to know some things about the Bills, including the new stadium and what we thought. Yep. I think we touched on that a little bit, but we didn't personally answer it. Thank you, Mark. Love you. I think if there is a new stadium, it might be right out in Orchard Park. I hope so. I hope it's right where the old one is today, and if they got a bulldozer, it's fine. That's a beautiful place. I love it. I love it out there. All right. Well, thanks for joining us. Getting excited. Bills enjoy the sun. Enjoy the sun. Bills are in mini camp, and they'll be done tomorrow with mini camp, and then we wait till the end of July up at St. John Fisher. We might try to work out something where we can broadcast one of our shows from the parking lot at St. John Fisher. Yeah, they won't let us put this camera like inside the fences and shit, but we'll probably do it, from as close as we can get to, St. John Fisher. The shuttle bus company kind of hemmed and hawed with us. So if you see us out there, we're also trying to get the Erie County Fair, America's Fair, Erie County Fair. We're going to try and do something out there, probably over, what did you say, by the tractor pull, did you tell me? No, I was going to go to the pig races. So anyway. All right, well, thank you. We'll sign off and see you next week. Tiny Tina. Maybe we'll get a chance to interview her. Tiny Tina. In a hand like that, it's amazing. You've never seen a girl this small. She's Tiny Tina. And why does he always, he puts her in his pocket? I don't know. He's got a hole in his pocket. All right, goodbye, guys. Bye, everybody.